Let us go through British and American government, a brief overview. Let us begin with British government. Now, Britain has no written constitution, but it has a document which is called Magna Carta and is from the year 1215. And this document gave less power to the monarchy, and that meant more political power to the parliament. Parliament is somewhat the same as our Norwegian Storting. The monarchy in Britain, well, head of state is the Queen, now Queen Elizabeth II. She is also head of the Commonwealth, which is the organization with the former colonies of the British Empire. She is head of the Church of England, and she's also Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Today, the Queen is just a symbolic figurehead, and she does not have real power. The British Parliament. In Britain, there is an elected parliament called parliamentary democracy. There is a concentration of power in the parliament, and this system is quite different from the American system, which has the branches of government, which you will see later in this lecture. So again, I repeat, the concentration of power, political power, is in the parliament, which is the same as Storting in a way. Now, the parliament consists of two houses. You have the House of Lords and the House of Commons. The House of Lords consists of hereditary and life peers. That means men, usually men, some women as well, but usually men that has inherited a title. Altså de som har arva en adelstittel, for eksempel. De kan sitte da i House of Lords. There are also not just the title you have inherited, but also so-called life peers, meaning bishops, for example. If you are in a position that you are a bishop, you can be part of the House of Lords. Now, the system is changing at the moment. They are trying to get less hereditary peers in the House of Lords. And of course, the reason for that, I have to say, you don't know who they are in a way that if you inherit a title, it doesn't mean that you are necessarily an intelligent, politically interested person. So, well, they are trying. This is a very old-fashioned system, and you know, Britain is very, very traditional. Okay, the House of Lords, they have little political power. However, it is the highest court of appeal. Remember that. Moving on to the House of Commons. Here is where the political power is. You have members of the House of Commons, and all of these members are elected by the people. And there are elections every 5 years. And this is where you have the main law-making body. This is where they make and pass laws. And House of Commons, where you have the most political power, they monitor the government closely. Altså de følger med regjeringen. Også i det britiske systemet så har du storting og regjering, ikke sant? Sånn som her så har vi the parliament and we have the government. The Prime Minister in Britain, well, the leader of the majority part in the House of Commons becomes the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister appoints the other cabinet ministers. Altså de som jobber rundt statsministeren. De som sitter i kabinettet. And the prime minister is leader of the cabinet and the government. Remember that the parliament is something kind of outside. They monitor the government and they cooperate with the government, of course. So you can say that the prime minister, with his cabinet and government, they run the country. But as I said, the parliament kind of monitors everything that they do. Now, the prime minister proposes new laws and budgets, and it is the parliament that kind of decides what it will be. Here is an illustration. This is the same as you find in your textbook. And this is an illustration of the system. So on top here you have the Queen, which is head of state. No political power, really. And here you have the Parliament. And the Parliament consists of the House of Lords and the House of Commons. And then you have the government, and the government consists of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet and sorry, other government members. So the Parliament, as I said, passes laws and budgets, levies taxes, and monitors the government. And in the House of Lords you have 92 elected hereditary peers, 649 life peers and bishops. This is the highest court of appeal. Now, I just have to mention though that there is a change here at the moment. I don't know what the result will be, but they're working on changing the system a bit. Now, the House of Commons, this is, you know, where the real power is. You have 646 MPs, Member of Parliament, and one Member of Parliament from each constituency, also valgkrets, and as I said earlier, they have elections at least every 5 years. Now, moving on to the government again. They run the country on a day-to-day basis, and they propose laws and budgets. And the government consists of the Prime Minister, which is obviously the head of the government, and leader of the majority party. And this is, you know, the parliamentary system and how that works. Now, the Prime Minister has his cabinet, which consists of 15 to 20 cabinet ministers, and then we have other government members. So that's an illustration of the British political system. Briefly about the political parties. Well, there are approximately 10 political parties represented in the House of Commons. Now, there are two major parties. You have the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. Here's a picture of the Palace of Westminster. This is where the Parliament is situated.